Well, I think we can truly probably say at this moment in time, the race is truly on to see who will be indeed the next leader of the Conservative Party, as well as the next Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. And almost certainly, without a shadow of a doubt, the race is going to have a lot of horses in this one. Look, in the past couple of previous elections, they have literally been decided almost in a week. Look at Theresa May when she got elected. All her candidates, all her oppositions, literally dropped out as soon as they realized the massive problem that Brexit was going to be, and they could let, shall we say, Theresa take the poison chalice and be the one to drink it. And of course, that didn't work out for them. So, of course, then along came Boris, and Boris Johnson's victory was again secured very, very quickly. However, this field and the number of candidates and the number of people who want to get into the position is now wide. And I've said before, probably the most likely person of them all to win is Liz Truss. She is the most popular member of the Conservative Party. And not like public, but we're talking like people in the party that vote for this. Liz Truss is seen as like the most popular member, even well and above that of Boris Johnson and Rishi Sunak. Like by a country mile, she's highly in the lead. However, expect this week to see probably more action, more maneuvers to see who is indeed going to replace Boris Johnson, because today we've had news, as you can see, that Priti Patel is ready to replace Boris Johnson as Prime Minister. So let's dive into this and find out the more, shall we say, interesting happenings behind the scenes going on to see who is going to be the first person to stick the knife in Boris. So here we go. Please remember, by the way, to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And of course, down below, there are links to my Patreon page and a one-off donation link called Buy Me Coffee, where you can, well, buy me coffee. And as always, thank you very much to all those people who do support the channel that way. So today's piece does come from the London Economic with the title of Priti Patel is ready to replace Boris Johnson as Prime Minister, reports say. Priti Patel is reportedly ready to run for Prime Minister as Boris Johnson may be facing a vote of no confidence. Interesting. You remember the last couple of times we've covered this, no one has said that there is a vote of no confidence isn't going to happen. This is the first time we are seeing, potentially this week, that a vote of no confidence could happen. That will be big news, never to say the less. And of course, the Home Secretary is considering throwing her hat in the ring to replace her current boss as both the Conservative Party leader and the Prime Minister, according to the Sunday Times. The rumours have come after this week that there have been several allegations of the government representatives held parties at last year's winter lockdown. Johnson is also facing another backlash from other Tories from introducing new COVID restrictions, and 54 MPs have asked for a no confidence vote. The Prime Minister could very well lose his job. Patel could run against her own boss, whom she had backed as Prime Minister in the 2019 general election. And according to the Sunday Times, Chancellor Rishi Sunak and Foreign Secretary Liz Truss already have donors lined up. And other possible candidates are, of course, Michael Gove, Nadhim Zahawi, Jeremy Hunt, Tom Tugendhat, and Matt Hancock. Very interesting, the fact that you've got Matt Hancock there. I hope this leadership election turns into a complete mudslinging match, because if it does, the person who has been most done by, the person out of all that list who has had, shall we say, all their dirty laundry aired by this point is Matt Hancock. Matt Hancock was in that cabinet with all of them. He probably knows things and mud that he could very well sling back at everyone else that probably hasn't even come out yet. So the fact that Matt Hancock is in the running there, if this does turn into an absolute mud wrestle, Matt Hancock could very well potentially have a lot of mud to sling. And of course, Patel has previously revealed that her idol is Margaret Thatcher, saying that Thatcher was a, quote, visionary leader who inspired and changed and left a legacy few politicians can match. If she were to succeed Boris Johnson, Patel would become the third female prime minister in British history after Theresa May and Thatcher. In 2019, the Home Secretary compared herself to Margaret Thatcher, again, as we've seen very recently with, shall we say, Liz Truss dressing up and doing Margaret Thatcher cosplay. We saw the reaction from a lot of people in the party as that was almost tantamount to heresy. So probably Priti Patel saying that as well is probably going to be the same thing. She compared herself to Thatcher whilst announcing a 20 million package to try and tackle drugs, to introduce an Australian points-based immigration system, and restrictions lifting on stop and search. She said this: the people's priorities drive only the Conservative Party, and that means backing our police, our communities, and our great country. But her time as Home Secretary has not been without controversies. A recent clause that has been quietly added to the Nationality and Borders Bill has been heavily criticised and paving the way for the Home Office to remove British citizenship without notice and even act retrospectively. Clause 9 of the bill notices that the decision to deprive a person of citizenship was updated earlier this month to give the green light to the government to remove and need to not give notice as is reasonably practical. Other reasons why the Home Office may do so are related to national security, diplomatic relations, and public interest. The move comes after earlier this year, Shemin Begum, who left the UK at age 15 to join the Islamic State in Syria, was refused permission to return to the UK and to fight a decision to strip her of a British citizenship. News which Priti Patel welcomed as, quote, reaffirming her authority to make vital national security decisions. And of course, the scrapping the need to give notice is also making EU citizens in the UK very anxious. Many more who have been given and been spending thousands of pounds on citizenship applications to feel more secure about their lives in Britain after the post-Brexit decisions made by the government. The new citizenship clause would allow the Home Office to apply the law retrospectively and to be people to be stripped of citizenship without notice before the clause became law, raising questions about the ability to appeal. Needless to say, this, I think, if there is a vote of no confidence in this week, who can know? Who knows? Like I say, I'm doing this on Monday, so who knows what a week this could even turn out to be. But there are still rumors flying around that, shall we say, not only are there more photos, but there is even video potentially to be released. Who knows? Maybe that could be released today, tomorrow. Who knows? Who knows? Let's just say this is not going to be a very pleasant Christmas for Boris Johnson. And of course, Priti Patel, many of you are probably asking, well, what are her chances of winning? Well, as I said before at the very beginning, it all comes into the fact that Liz Truss is easily the most popular member after Rishi Sunak. And even after that, she's vastly ahead of Rishi Sunak in those popularity polls. So where does Patel come? Well, she's way, way down there. Way down there. And if she does intend to try and, shall we say, win those nominations, well, she's got to try and find a way to tear down not only Liz Truss, but also Rishi Sunak as well. And at the moment, Patel has far more scandals about her than anything else. Not only that, remember, Priti Patel went and pursued her own foreign policy without approval from her own government, which, again, according to the national security institutions here, should have made Priti Patel unfit for any high office because she's too much of a national security risk. Will that come up in leadership elections? Who knows? But needs to say, as I said, this could turn into a proper mud fight. And if it does, that could get very interesting. So, as always, thank you for watching. Please remember to hit that like, share, and subscribe button on your way out. And of course, down below, there are links to my Patreon page and a one-off donation link called Buy Me Coffee, where you can, well, buy me coffee. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you